Hey, what's up, guys? It's Russo and Jordy with Backdoor Fantasy Sports. We're doing a little special edition daily show on the weekend. We couldn't really get a video out last night, and we decided, well, rather than force a video out really late, we were just going to wait, give you guys 4 picks today once the board is filled out more. But I was on there, on Prize Picks and using my tools like Daily Grind and Outlier, and just combing over the board last night. So late last night, I ended up putting out a couple plays that I liked, even though we weren't doing a video. One of those plays I'm taking again today, but you did, if you got it last night, you got it 2 points lower than we're getting it today, but I still like it, even at this 13.5, and that's Micić points. But before we break all this down, if you've never tried Prize Picks, use our promo code at the bottom of the screen and they'll match your first deposit up to $100. They're going to double what you deposit. So if you deposit the whole 100, they're going to give you your 100 plus another bonus 100. So like you get 200 total to play with. Just throw that code in, they'll hook you up. And if you're new to our channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. If you're subscribed, you'll be able to get stuff like, last night we couldn't put a video out, but we dropped a couple plays in the community section. So like just little perks like that, but also you'll be able to get on these videos right away if you're subscribed with notifications on. At least you should be. Sometimes YouTube's like late with pushing out those notifications, but regardless, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. And if you guys don't mind, do us a favor and like the video. We go over this every video. Last thing we want to do is beg you guys for likes, but it really just does make it, the videos that we don't mention it, it's crazy how people just aren't inclined to just press the like button. It's like they need to be reminded or something. I don't know, but there's like a drastic difference between videos we mention it and we don't. So we just mention it. It's a great way to support the channel. If you appreciate our content, just hit that like button. It puts us in front of a larger audience. So we appreciate you guys. And we have 4 picks for you today. So we're going to go over our recap. Actually, let's talk about the plays we have so you can lock these in if you're the type to just lock them in, and then we'll go through the breakdown so they don't get moved on us. But so I'm going to go with Micić over 13.5 points. This got bumped 2 points. We got it at 11.5 last night when I put that in the community section. I still like it at 13.5, enough to make it one of my plays today. And then I'm also taking Keegan Murray over 26.5 fantasy score. What are you getting into, Jordy?
Yeah, I'm taking Aaron Nesmith for under the 3.5 first quarter points again. I've just been playing this play way too much, and he's not been hitting it, so I'm going to stay in the flames with that one. And then I'm taking Micić Okoro for over 3.5 rebounds.
All right, sounds good, man. We're excited about this slate. We've got 9 games today. Again, we're talking about March 16th on Saturday, the NBA slate on Prize Picks. So let's go over this recap. I took Jalen Duren over 2.5 dunks, and I was a little iffy about Jimmy Butler. I saw a lot of people taking that. I ended up last minute, I saw so many people taking it in our Discord that I'm like, well, I'm going to make a couple, like single unit slips and throw them in there. And I'm glad I didn't put him in my big slips because he didn't hit. Duren ended up being the one to take. He ended up going for 3. Thankfully he got us at least 3 because 2.5, 2 wouldn't have gotten it done. Keontae George, 25.5 points and assists. We had this on the underdog video as well. Felt really good about this play. Got a couple comments questioning whether or not that was a good play or not. But if you watched him, like, it was just the situation he was in, with all those guys out. But I think they should keep his minutes up because that dude is such a stud. Like, he played so good. He ended up going for 30 as far as points and assists. So we cashed on both of those. You want to get into yours, Jordy? You muted?
Oh, shoot. Yes, I am. Just talking to myself. So yeah, I took the Gary Harris for over 2.5 first quarter points. He went for 3. So that one cashed. And then this one was the one I expected, honestly, to do the best. It was this Brandon Miller and Devin Booker 3-point combo at 4.5. They both shot plenty of threes, but they did not cash them. Miller went for 2, and he shot 2 for 8 from 3, and Booker shot 1 for 8 from 3. So they both just decided to have poopy nights when I took them. So
those are like really bad nights for both of those guys.
Yeah.
I don't know what the odds are. That's like Miller shot what, like 25%, and Booker shot like 10-15%.
Yeah,
Like
10%, something like
that's
that.
like not it's not typical of those guys. That was a really low line. It was so heavily juiced too. But
Yeah.
we'll take 3-1. Obviously, if either of those guys would have had their normal shooting night, it would have covered. We would have gotten the sweep. But man, I feel bad for anyone who just saw me taking a sip of my coffee, because I took a little too much, went down the face a little bit. I'm like, I hope no one had to watch that. But all right, guys. So before we break down these plays, just want to tell you about Daily Grind. They are a company that makes DFS tools, and they're really good at it. We love their products. We've been working with them for a long time now. They're one of the first companies we ever started working with, and that's because we care about what we're representing to you guys. We're not going to tell you about anything that we don't absolutely love and endorse ourselves. We've turned down other companies before we decided to go with Daily Grind, because some of these companies are out here just trying to take advantage of a platform. I mean, even right now, we've got like opportunities on the table that when we're looking at it, we're like, this is not in the best interest of our viewers. We're not going to do this just because you're going to, like, give us a piece of the money. Not worth it to us. That's not what we're about. So Daily Grind is the complete opposite of that. They are giving you so much value. Their DFS optimizer is like, I've referred to it as like my Bible before, because I just don't like to approach a slate without it. We use it to seek out plays. We also use it to confirm plays, because sometimes you got to switch things up. You can't just always go to the optimizer first. You'll notice, like, over time, you have, for your own sake, have to change your approach. If I'm just always going to the optimizer and then going to the board, sometimes I'm just like, man, I'm just like not hitting like I would like to be. And then we'll switch it up. Jordy and I both do this. We'll start at the board, see what's like calling out to you, then go verify it on the optimizer. So there's so many different ways that you can use these tools. If you're interested in checking them out, there's a 25% discount for everyone that uses code backdoor. So they're hooking up our viewers with 25% off of any of their tools. You can go to dgfantasy.com, or there's a link in the description of the video. And if you use code backdoor, you'll get 25% off of all of them if you want to use all of the tools. But definitely the DFS optimizer is a go-to. Like, I wouldn't want to not have it now that I'm used to using it every day. But all right, so let's break down these plays. Let's just go ahead and start with Micić here. This dude is a rookie, but he's 30 years old. He's Serbian, and I believe he was drafted, I think he was drafted maybe by the 76ers. He's been in the league for a while. He just hasn't had his opportunities. So so he was drafted. Yeah, he was drafted by the 76ers in 2014. And then he played professionally overseas for several years after that. And he just joined the Thunder in 2023, but he got traded to Charlotte. So now he's balling because he's one of these dudes who has a lot of talent, and he hasn't been given his opportunity. Well, someone found out how awesome he is, and that's the Charlotte Hornets, and they've been giving him minutes. So I think we're ahead of the curve here on this one. And I watched him just torch my Suns. I mean, the Suns won the game, but he like crossed over KD. He was like making plays for himself. He's really developed his shot, but he's just like a smart player. So he's kind of like a veteran who's playing on a rookie contract. So he's got a lot more, basketball IQ than people realize. I'm a big fan of this guy. So we have an over-under here of 208.5, and the 76ers, not surprisingly, are favored by 10.5 because Charlotte isn't really doing much right now. They're in major rebuild, but they do have Brandon Miller, and Brandon Miller's really developed his shot after he's been a good shooter, but he's really developed his shot being in Charlotte with that coaching staff. They're doing the same thing with Micić, so his shot is really coming alive lately. If we take a look at these last, so he's gone over this like 3 out of his last 5. He's come close a little bit, but he's really been turning it on and being more confident lately. He went for 25 against Memphis, and then he just put up 21 against my Suns yesterday. So the matchup's a little bit difficult. The 76ers are 7th in points allowed to point guards. But this line's still at just 13.5. Again, if you were subscribed to our YouTube, you got this at 11.5 last night. I feel great about it there, but I'm going to still be throwing this into slips because I think he's going to go for at least 14 tonight, playing against the team that drafted him. And he's just been doing well. He's been shooting 55% from the field on 11.2 attempts per game. He's only shooting 33% from three on 4.6 attempts per game. So the threes aren't yeah, he could clean that up a little bit. Like 33 is like not great, but it's not terrible. Only 1.6 fouls per game. So he's not getting into foul trouble. And lately he's been averaging 31 minutes per game, making it to the free throw line for 3.2 attempts per game. And he's shooting 96% from the free throw line. So I really like this guy. I'm very excited to see like him continue to develop. And I think that he's going to be a name that we know moving forward. Maybe he's not like, like an all-star, but I think that we are going to know this dude moving forward because he's very fun to watch. His style of play is really interesting. If we take a look at the injury report here, obviously LaMelo Ball, Seth Curry, Cody Martin's still out, and Bryce McGowan's out as well. Bryce was ruled out as of 2 hours ago, and he plays shooting guard. So I know it's not like the same as point guard, but that still is someone on the floor that needs to be putting up some points. So there's a little bit of a vacancy there. And like I said, he just put up 21 against the Suns. So I think tonight against the 76ers, he can go for at least 14 points. Feeling good about this play. If we hop over here to Daily Grind, they have his points favored to go under. And I think that's because this just got bumped, but go with your gut. If you're uncomfortable with it, don't take it. But I like this play. This play made me a lot of money yesterday. This dude went off. I took his demon and he cashed it. And so they have it favored to go under at 51.96% odds to hit the under. It's at a -127. And then we've got some mixed emotions here. Like FanDuel's putting this out at 12.5. Everyone else bumped this up to 13.5, and I think that's because of his performance last night. He had such a good night against the Suns, putting up 21 points. But I think, it's like he went for 21 and he went for 25 in the game before that. So I think we're catching a little bit of a breakout here. So I don't even think bumping it up to 13.5 is enough to cover what this dude's capable of. So we're getting it a little early as far as I'm concerned. So go with your gut if you're uncomfortable with it, but I'm going to be rolling this in a lot of slips. So yeah, pretty much -125 and higher to go under. Keep that in mind. Everyone's favoring this to go under, but I think that we've got something that everyone else isn't paying attention to, and that's how good this dude is and that he's in the middle of a breakout. That's just my own personal opinion. Go with your gut. And then this other play, we're going to go Keegan Murray, fantasy score here. Let's take a look at this over under. This is going to be one of the games I'm excited to get pieces of. We got the Kings versus the Knicks. This should be a great battle. It's pretty incredible the way the Knicks are just a scary team to match up against no matter how many people get injured. We got a 217 over under. Kings favored by just 3.5 without like half of their studs available on the Knicks. But that's going to be a close game because that team is just loaded with grinders. If we hop back over here to Outlier, the reason I want to take the fantasy score is because I want a little bit of the defense. Because Keegan Murray is a solid defender. He's not like, some dude who's like going to be up for defensive player of the year or anything, but he holds his own. And that's good for fantasy score because blocks and steals give you 3 points for every block, 3 points for every steal. They're worth a lot for the fantasy score option. He's gone over this fantasy score in 3 out of his last 5 games. And I believe that that Daily Grind and other odds makers have the fantasy score juice to go under, if I'm not mistaken. I'll go back and take a look again, but they have his points juice to go over. But if you look at his points, he's only gone over this once out of his last 4. And I think that's because the fantasy score has given us those extra points from defense. If we take a look at what he's been doing here, let me go to blocks and steals. I miss it. Here we go. He's been relatively active on blocks and steals. So in his last game, he had 2 steals. The game before that, 2 steals and a block. And then, didn't do anything defensively against San Antonio, had 1 block against LA, but then back here against Chicago, he had a steal and 3 blocks. So this dude's capable and he's a little bit volatile, but I mean, like if he gets like 2 blocks and steals, like combined, like 1 of each, that's 6 extra points right there. That'll put us over that mark. So I'm really feeling good about taking. Actually, let's see the matchup specifically. So to small forwards, look at this. They're very vulnerable when it comes to defenders. So the Kings, especially with them being a little bit hobbled right now, they're 22nd in steals allowed and 22nd in blocks allowed. And that's specifically to the small forward position. So he has an opportunity there with a little bit of a soft spot. But yeah, if we go back to fantasy score here on Outlier, yeah, he's gone over this 3 out of his last 5, and that's because of the defensive play that he's had. He's only averaging 3 fouls per game over his last 5. So for someone who's relatively active on defense, he's not really getting into too crazy a foul trouble. That's about as high as you want to go, is that 3 foul per game mark. But he's right inside that zone we like. He's averaging 34.4 minutes per game. We just had Malik Monk deal with a little bit of an injury, neck injury in the last game. He'll probably be fine to play, but they might be playing it a little bit safe. I'm not saying Monk's going to be on a minutes restriction, but I think that if nothing else, Keegan Murray should get his normal minutes and be well over that 30-minute mark. Let's take a look at injuries real quick just for an update. So OG Anunoby is a game time decision. You know, they tried to bring him back. He's dealing with that right elbow injury, and he looked good, but apparently it's still bothering him because they're still putting this game time decision tag on him before the game, and he is the best defender they have at the small forward position. So if he's out, I like Keegan Murray even more. We also have Kevin Huerter, game time decision, who plays shooting guard, but I wouldn't be surprised if Huerter is not back for this game. And that's still a little bit of scoring, a little bit of rebounding that there's going to be a little bit of a vacancy for. So even though they don't play the same position, it's still one extra player that they can't rotate as often. So I feel like when someone's out like that, that's somewhat of a pivotal role player, everybody else on the team gets a little bit of a bump, even if it's not specifically the same position, is what I've noticed. And we've got Trey Lyles still out, power forward position, left knee sprain. So if you guys are interested in checking out this app that I'm on right now, Outlier, they cover everything. I love it just as much as Daily Grind. It was a big part of my success yesterday. I and a couple other people in the Discord had like a pretty big day yesterday. It was awesome, but I would not have had those plays without Outlier specifically, because I took a lot of demon plays, and you can actually adjust your lines to what the demon plays are set at, and you can go back 20 games, you can look at the matchup, you can see what they've done head to head, you can see if they've come close to hitting these demon lines. Definitely take advantage of it, guys. Outlier is going to give you a 7-day free trial. There's a link in the description of the video. And before I wrap this up, I'm just going to take a look at the head-to-head. So the head-to-head is a great tab to be checking out when you're looking at plays. And last time Keegan played against New York, he eclipsed this line of 26.5. He went for 30. So he had a good game last time they matched up. He's gone over it 3 out of the last 5. I feel good about him going over this. All right, so let's just go over to Daily Grind real quick. They have this favored to go under, and it's because of the discrepancy here. You'll notice, so like Daily Grind has this really juice to go under. They have it at 53.76% odds to hit the under, which is pretty high. But the odds they have for it is at a -116. So that's like a 50-50 shot at best, if not favoring slightly to the over. The reason that the odds to hit indicator is so juiced is because Prize Picks has got this inflated up at 26.5 fantasy score. Everyone else is giving this to you at 25.2, 25.4. So they notice that discrepancy and they say, hey, this might be a good sign that the line on Prize Picks will go under because everyone else has it way lower. So that's just some of the things you start to learn the more you use this DFS optimizer. Good information to have, but it's not going to keep me from wanting to take the over here. So go with your gut. If you're uncomfortable with it, just fade it. But I feel good about it, and I'm going to pass it over to Jordy to go through his plays now.
Cool. Yeah. Stoked to take a piece of OG Ginobili. Ginobili, he's back.
That's amazing.
But yeah, sorry about yesterday, guys. The no video thing was totally on me. I had a very, very frustrating day with Discord. There's a lot of things I want to say about their support team right now that I'm just gonna bite my tongue on, but I don't know. But anyway, let's keep it positive. Let's get into this video. I feel great about these two plays. Before I break them down, though, I just want to tell you guys quickly about Chalkboard. Chalkboard is another one of our sponsorships, and we're stoked to be sponsored by them because the app is too much fun. They're another prop betting platform just like Prize Picks here, but what they give you that, you know, Prize Picks and them don't, my dog's barking, but what they'll give you is like, they'll give you Isaac Okoro's rebounds at 3.5, and you can bump it up or down. So you can take it for like 4.5, 5.5 and get a higher multiplier on it and make it like a demon play, or bump it down and make it like a goblin play where you get like a 1x on it. So I could bump it down to like 2.5. So it's really cool. Definitely go check them out. You can make plays up to 100x, and you can get up to 100x on like 4 or 5 plays, and you can protect them with shield play. So it's really cool. It's pretty much like flex play. You can, like, if you go like 4 or 5, you can still get like 25x on like 4 out of 5 plays. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, link in the description. If you use code backdoor at checkout, they'll match your first deposit up to $100. So definitely take advantage of that deal. And the Android version is coming in 2 days. So stoked for you guys on Android. All right, Aaron Nesmith. This play, him under 3.5 points in the first quarter. He has not done this in 10 out of 10 games. The most he's gotten in the last 10 games is 3 points. He's just not a very hefty first quarter scorer. You know, if you look at the matchup is favoring him to have an easier time to get this done. But if you look at the head-to-head, he did have a big first quarter against them, but that was 2 years ago. He went for 10 points in the first quarter, but the other game before that, he went for 3. He hasn't played them in a long time, but honestly, Brooklyn's defense is pretty tough. They're a very lengthy team. You know, and he's like a mid-range to close bucket scorer, and if Claxton's in when he's in, I feel good about him not going over this. If we look at the injury list here, let's just take a gander. Still no Benedict Mathurin. He's out for the season. That's crazy. But no Ben Simmons, and yeah, that's really the only one that matters. Ben Simmons doesn't like to play basketball, but you know, Aaron Nesmith has gone under this 13 out of his last 20 games. So he had a stretch here where he was putting it together in the first quarter, but over the last 10 games, he hasn't really even came close to touching this line. So I feel good about this one. I've been playing it almost every time it's available. They leave it out there because it's such a low line that you can get burned on it pretty easily. So take it at your own risk, but I feel good about it. Like I said, the matchup is a little easy for him, but overall, they're only 14th in points allowed. Brooklyn has had some very low scoring games because their defense is pretty tough. So hopefully they can keep him under this 3.5 point line here. So I feel good about this one. So obviously no daily grind odds on that one, but we do have daily grind odds on Isaac Okoro here. I feel great about his rebounds over 3.5. He's another person I've been playing a lot. He's gone over this in 9 out of 20 games, but recently he's been putting it together because his minutes have gone way up. You know, with all of the injuries, no Max Strus has really been the big one. And, you know, no Ty Jerome, no Evan Mobley, and Dean Wade is a game time decision again. So, you know, there's going to be more rebounds to be had. Houston has had a very hard time rebounding the ball with no Şengün. And honestly, Cam Whitmore is a very good rebounder too, and they're both out. So I feel great about him going over this. In the head-to-head, in the last time they played, when he got the minutes, like he got 32 minutes the last time they played, he had 7 rebounds. You can see these games he didn't have as good of minutes, and like 8 minutes and 25 minutes he did not go over this line. But recently with all the injuries, he's been getting a lot more minutes, and he's just playing better ball, so they're playing him more. So 3.5 seems pretty low to me. If you look at the matchup here, it's a great matchup for him. 27th in rebounds allowed, giving up 8.6 a game. And over here on daily grind, we got it at a 53.51% chance and a minus 134. That's pretty much across the board. So I feel really good about these plays. And yeah, that's the 2 I'm going with.
All right, man. If you want to pass it back over to my screen real quick, I just want to talk to everybody about Discord. Running out of time here, but all right, guys. So yeah, we're in Discord here. This is just we had a good day yesterday. You guys should definitely come join. This isn't me saying like you're not going to get good plays on our channel. This is just like the power of our community. We work together. When someone finds a good play, everyone gets to reap the benefits of it. And for the most part, like everyone's sharing their slips that they're getting into. You know, I got to shout out Rizzo. not Russo, Rizzo. Rizzo had a good day yesterday, and he's been killing it. He's one of our more active people in our Discord, and he's you can see other people that were tailing his slips yesterday he hit some 6-mans, and he's been helping the community cash. And so definitely come check us out. It's about 50 cents a day, and we've been eating in here, and basically the best part about it is the community. Like, we have a really fun community, and actually some people have been caching a little bit of League of Legends. I know we didn't have luck with the League of Legends that we put out as far as on YouTube, but that's because it's like any sport. It's like you're not going to catch them every single time. But those of us who are tailing these slips, like, I don't watch League of Legends, but I'm in the green on League of Legends slips just because you don't overextend yourself, but I'm tailing these plays and they're hitting more often than not.
Well, it's just like the NBA or anything else too. Like, a lot of the comments were like, you guys were 100% expecting those plays to hit. I'm shocked that people still have this outlook on, like, when it comes to like a 6-man being posted. They're like, I'm so sick of waking up in the gray. It's like, that's gonna happen sometimes. Like, that's more than sometimes. It's gonna happen most of the time. But since then, like, in the Discord, I put out 2 4-man plays. Those hit, and a 6-man went 5 for 6 last night. So you just can't always predict the outcome of the games, and that's why I told you guys in the videos, like, I feel really good about them. I put like an hour or 2 into the research of it, and it still busted. So that's just the way it goes. Like, all those plays were like super juiced to go over, and like huge lengthy history. So that's just the platform as a whole,
Yeah, and that's like just like any sports. Like, you could have a guy who's been, a wagon lately, going for like 5 assists a game, and you're like, oh, they have him at 4.5, and you take him, and then he's just scoring all night. Like, you never know how it's going to play out. But that's what we're doing here, guys. That's Prize Picks. You're going to get that no matter what sport you're playing, on this platform. But if you guys are interested in coming and checking out our Discord, though, there's a link in the description of the video. Like I said, it's about 50 cents a day. But the community as a whole is just an awesome resource because we all work together, and Discord doesn't shut down. You know what I mean? Like, we put these videos out like twice a day typically. But Discord, we're connected to it around the clock. We have 2 other analysts. Moose has still been cashing his 2-mans. Consol's been hitting. And we've got some other awesome just members like Rizzo, who's been sharing his slips. And if you've been copying and pasting Rizzo's slips lately, you've been making a lot of money. So shout out to Rizzo, he's been killing it. But yeah, guys, if you decide to join, just go through the link in the description, go up to server subscriptions, and then just subscribe. It'll unlock all the channels for you. But if you do, make sure you hop into community chat. Let everyone know that you're new there, because we'll embrace you in the sense that, like, there's a lot we can tell you right out of the gate. So if we don't know that you're new, you might not understand how we're breaking everything down. But we're happy to have you. If you join, just let us know you're new, and we'll show you around, show you how we do everything in there. But guys, we hope you have a great day. Enjoy this 9-game slate. And yeah, that's going to do it. We'll catch you in the next video.
Good luck, guys.